Rosebuds, it's your girl Nairi Rose, and I am back with another video. This is going to be another reaction video, and this has come up for me because I was having this conversation with someone else, and we were talking about jealousy. And jealousy is like one of the biggest diseases ever. Like jealousy is just weird. So I wanted to get into it. I'm gonna watch this video that I saw posted by All Things Woman. I really love her content. Shout out to the creator behind All Things Woman. You can follow her YouTube at woman 1005. But yeah, I'm gonna watch this video. I saw it a while back, so it's not a blind reaction, but I really didn't marinate in what she had to say. So I'm gonna play the video and just give my honest opinion, because I think that everybody is crashing out in the world right now. It is a lot of nasty and negative behaviors that are going on that need to be checked and corrected. But you also have to be mindful. Jealousy is so scary and it's so toxic that it can actually kill. Like, people have lost their lives due to jealousy, both male and female. So I just want to watch this video and see what she has to say more in depth. And yeah, let's get right into it.
Jealous women use humiliation and bullying in order to attack other women. That's why it's important that you know how to read a room and understand when you are around women who do not like you.
Okay, so boom, she gets right into it. Yes, jealousy is like one of the biggest things that happen in all communities. I don't even want to say communities of color. I think anyone is capable of being jealous when they feel a lack within. And she specifically started off by saying that somebody who is jealous will try to humiliate you. So I totally resonate with that. I've seen jealousy in so many different forms, but the thing that I am learning, and as I grow older, and I wish talking to my younger self that I would have done, is just corrected. A lot of the times where I've seen jealousy, it was in the form of humiliation. Someone trying to humiliate me. Quick story time. I remember one time I was out with some friends, and basically before I went out, my friend group was like, you know, we're going out, get dressed. And I am not like the type to party. I didn't go out a lot. I had a strict household, so I wasn't like going out to clubs and things like that. But for this particular event, I told my friend girl, hey, I don't have an outfit. I know you're going out, but I don't have nothing to wear. Long story short, you know, she had a plethora of clothes, beautiful clothes. And she was like, you can wear something of mine. So I picked something that she was not going to wear. I just found it, it fit, and I said, I'm gonna wear this outfit. And we went to the party and I had a great time. And I got so many compliments on my outfit, to the point where I had some people complimenting me. Some girls were like, oh my gosh, you look so cute. And my friend was like, well, that's not her outfit. Those are not her clothes. Those are mine. And I was so embarrassed. I was like, dang, like, why did you just tell them that, like, my outfit is not my outfit? But I didn't know it was jealousy at that time. Let me keep watching.
Jealous women will use humiliation in order to make you feel like you don't belong. Women who like to use humiliation tactics, they will typically get a whole group of women together in order to gang up on you. And it's very subtle, it's very covert, and you will not even realize it until you're in that situation. As I have mentioned before about dear Shanquella Robinson, who lost her life due to being around people who she thought were her friends, and they turned out to be her biggest haters, her biggest enemies, her biggest jealous people in her life. People like that are very subtle, and they like to humiliate you and to bring you down when they perceive that you're a little too high up.
Oh, she is preaching. Oh my goodness. So yeah, let me know what you think about this in the comments. Does this resonate with you at all? I feel like she touched on a great point about having like a girl group, or having like groups of women come together and they're jealous of you. With that, like, I have experienced like girl groups, you know, being fake, especially when you have like 3 people in a girl group or a friend group and you're the middle person, because you start realizing that they'll talk about each other, and then it's like you wonder, okay, if they're talking about each other, are they talking about me? And then at least for my females, my women, like, do you ever experience where your friends pretty much have you as friends to like be prettier than you? Like, I know that might sound weird, but like I have heard or experienced where girls will like pick on women to be their friends so that they'll always get chosen, or they're the prettiest one out the friend group. So that's kind of what resonated with me when she mentioned like they come in packs, basically. Let's continue.
People who are jealous and envious of you, they will always have receipts for something. Even if everything is going great in your life right now, jealous people, people who like to use humiliation against you, they will dig into your past, dig into a perceived flaw. They will look at something about you or find out something about you and use that as an opportunity to clown and humiliate you. People only do this because they're jealous. People only do this because they perceive you as some kind of threat. People only dig into your history and dig into your past when they feel like that you are superseding them in some way.
I keep pausing it because it's just like she is so on point with this video about jealousy. And there are stalkers out there, like cyber stalkers, who will look up your information. That's why I'm really good at disappearing and hiding myself, just because like I've had in the past embarrassing moments, or people trying to expose me or like use my tea against me. And it's just very sick. We all make mistakes as human beings, but when you have somebody thinking that they're better than you, trying to pull up things about you to use it against you, that is so calculated, and that is so like maniacal and evil in a sense, to where it's kind of just like, get a life. And something that I'm learning as an adult is I would always put people on a pedestal because I thought that they had more than me. I thought that people who have more than me were the true winners, the real winners. It might look like they have more money, nicer cars, nicer clothes, crib, whatever. But just because somebody has more than you does not mean that they're better than you. And that is what I'm getting from this. Let's continue.
And the biggest strategy they use is to get other people on board with their jealousy. You see this a lot in women groups, because women, they really are, not all women, but many women, they can be very hostile. They can be bullies. Everybody knows that. A lot of women have a very bully mentality. And when they don't like someone, they will get other people to rally behind their hate. And that is how you end up with all these fake friend groups and women who are in these situations where now they're being harmed because of it. That's why you have to recognize when somebody is trying to set you up and they don't really care about you as a person. You have some women that will invite you to, they'll invite you to parties, to events, all so they can pick you apart and belittle you. They will invite you into places where they know you might not be familiar with the crowd. You might not be familiar with the territory. And if you are not a woman of wisdom, if you don't have that discernment and wisdom to realize when somebody is trying to bait you, you will fall into the trap of a jealous woman who seeks to humiliate you.
Not just women, men too. You have to be careful, especially when you're going out with people and you don't know them that well. I've learned this lesson so many times the hard way. Do not go out with people that you don't know. If you don't know where this person, and not saying that you have to know where everybody lives and things like that, but if you don't know much about a person, don't be so trusting when they try to invite you out or say, oh, hey, come with me, let's go here, let's go there, because they just might leave you hanging. People will leave you hanging. They will have you in dangerous situations and predicaments, and you just never know. Like, I remember going out with a friend, and basically it was the wrong vibes. I was getting all the wrong vibes to where I had to like tell myself like it's time to go. And when you feel like it's time to go, listen to your gut. I used to like suffer from fear of missing out, but now I'm cool. I'll miss out. I don't need to see what's going to happen at the end of the night. I don't need to get too intoxicated or wasted to where I can't recall my whereabouts, because as I've gotten older, the Most High has put people in my life to gain me up and give me lessons. And I remember a woman telling me, like, be careful when you're around with your friends, be careful when you're out and about, when they start pulling those cameras out and recording you and you're not in a sober state. That is where you need to be careful, because they will post it on the internet, and it's to shame you. It's to publicly shame you and shun you because of jealousy. So this woman right here, she is preaching the truth. Let's listen to some more.
Have you ever had somebody ask you a question about something and you just got the feeling that they really don't care about what you're saying? They just want to make fun of how you're speaking? I'll give you a real life story about myself. And it's not so much a story as it is just things that used to happen to me. People, especially women, they would make fun of how I speak because I speak more proper compared to the women that I was around. They spoke more so in slang and cursing and all of that. And I'll never forget, I was having a conversation with a few girls, and I had to be like maybe in my early 20s. And they said to me, why are you talking like you're in an interview? Why are you talking like that? Why are you talking like a white girl? Why do you sound like that?
Basically, I totally understand where she's coming from. When I was in high school, I went to mostly private school. Like, I went to private school for most of my high schooling. It wasn't until my senior year where I went to public school. And that taught me a lot, because being around my community, that's where I learned about the terms like Oreo and uh-oh Oreo. I still don't know what an uh-oh Oreo is, but like they would call me names and like call me nerd and this and that, because, you know, if you are articulating yourself, it's a problem. Now, granted, like I've learned about code switching, and a lot of my family is from the South. So when it comes to like cursing and slang, I know all about that. But sometimes when it comes to like speaking professionally, like it's a time and a place. And I treat school, whether it's in my work life or whether I'm the student, that's a business for me. That's a professional space. And so I will carry myself accordingly. But some people do not like that, and they feel like you're not being real or you're not being authentic. I think it has nothing to do with that. But when people start like picking at you and poking you apart and basically pointing out all your flaws, that's when you know it's a problem. And sometimes we're fortunate, or people are fortunate enough to have like great households and great family relationships to where, you know, they're supported in-house. And then these experiences happen when they go to school or when they are at the job or the workplace. But then sometimes, a lot of the times, you are bullied in your family. You are bullied by your family. Your family will make fun of you first before a stranger will. And I learned, like, not all your family will receive you, especially if you're different or you're quote unquote the black sheep. When you are the black sheep of your family and you don't do things similar to them or how they've taught you or raised you, then that's when you start learning about jealousy. Let's keep going.
And they would deliberately ask me things, and me, and a woman who is not jealous and petty, just a little sidebar, sometimes, especially if you're not there yet where you have that heightened discernment, that intuition, that wisdom, you won't even realize when a woman is trying to play in your face, when she's trying to just bait you and say little things in order to humiliate you or clown you in some way. You won't even realize it. It took me growing in wisdom and maturing as a woman in order to realize when I had women around me who really didn't like me, they wanted to use me for their entertainment. And as confident women, as you develop in your self-esteem and your self-love, you will realize that you are nobody's entertainment. But until you get to that point, sometimes you might be subjected to women who desire to be jealous and envious and want to clown you in some way, and you don't even realize it. So they would ask me questions about things knowing that I'm into the topic, but they would clown me because I'm into the topic. You know, I was more of like a book nerd, a bookworm. You know, I like those kind of things. And I know they didn't like those kind of things, but, you know, naive me thinking that they're really interested in what I'm talking about. And the whole time I find out they're just making fun of me. They're talking about me. You know, pretty much I'm the geek among the group. And those kind of things don't stop, unfortunately, with women as you age. You would think it would, but it gets even deeper. As the subjects in life and the matters in life get deeper with women, so does the bullying and hatred among women, oftentimes.
I really don't like this for, you know, our communities. Like, This is what keeps us down. This is what keeps people at a low vibration and a low frequency. And anything can make a person jealous. Like, you never know what it could be. It's the way you look, it's the way your hair is, it's the way you dress, maybe it's your jewelry, the way your nails are painted. Anything can trigger somebody, but you are not responsible for anybody's triggers. Like, it's okay to like express, your insecurities if you feel safe, but having somebody play on your insecurities or constantly point out your flaws or tell you about how you look or how you dress and fix your crown in front of the audience, opposed to just behind the scenes, that is a red flag. And I hate that this mostly happens in the female or the woman community. Like, I know that jealousy occurs with men as well, and then we see like people who are jealous killing I guess rappers, I should say. Like, you see a lot of jealousy in hip hop culture and rap culture, but just in general, like, there is no benefit to being jealous of someone else. Like, instead of it being jealousy, like, it's okay to just admire like other people. One of the things that I used to like deem as maybe a jealous trait within myself is, people who had good relationships with their moms. When I would hear about like good mom and daughter relationships, because I can express that maybe mine isn't the best and I would want it to be better, but that would be something that would kind of trigger me. But instead of me being jealous about it, I learned to just admire it and just like pick up like, okay, well, they have a good relationship. Maybe I could take some of that to help improve mine. Not that I need to, but it's become more of an admiration, not a jealousy. I work so hard to not be jealous just because I know it's a sickness, it's a disease, it hurts, it kills. It destroys families, it destroys relationships. So there is no point in being jealous of someone. If you ever feel jealousy creeping, just reframe it. Reframe it to where you're just like, dang, I really admire that person, or I really admire what they have going on. But like, being jealous is crazy. Like, there is no reason to be jealous about what somebody else has, because you don't know what they're going through and you don't know what it took to get there. We can't all assume that people just have good luck or streaks of luck and everything is passed down. Even with people who we see in the limelight, people who have fame, we see them crashing out, we see them getting hooked on substances. So you might feel jealous because they have this celebrity status or they have fame, but then you don't know what comes with that. You don't know what that entails. So like, live your life. I used to tell my sister I don't like this artist J. Cole, and it's not that I don't like him. I just really didn't get into like his music that much. But like, he has this song like Better Than Yours, or like Nobody's Life Is Better Than Yours, something along that. And I listen to that song constantly because it's an affirmation for me. It affirms that no matter what, no matter how much money is in your bank account, no matter what you have going on in your life, like, no one's life is better than yours. So you have to cherish your own life. Let's keep going.
Some women might know that you were having issues in your relationship, maybe issues with your children, and they will be so nasty, so petty, so devious. A lot of women, their jealousy goes that deep. And somebody might be asking, well, if you had all of these negative things about you, why would they be jealous of that? If these bad things happen to you, why are they jealous of you? Why do you think they're jealous of you? Jealous women can sense a sweet and gentle spirit in another woman. A jealous woman, a chaotic woman, a woman with chaotic energy, a bully, she can sense when she's around a woman who is more kind, who is more gentle, who might not be on that radar of knowing when somebody is being a hater, being jealous. They can sense a sweet woman. They can sense a woman who is more feminine, more kind, and they play on her positive nature in order to bully and belittle and put her down.
Okay, so 2 things I take from this. 1, don't tell people about your relationships. Like, if you're in a relationship, and especially if it's the beginning of the relationship, or even if you're married and you've been in a relationship for a while and things are becoming rocky, do not tell other women or do not tell other people about what's going on in your relationship, especially if it's not like on a serious level to where there might be domestic abuse or violence going on and you're really thinking about like an escape route or how to protect yourself and your family, especially if children are involved. If it's something like, oh, my man or my girl, she didn't make me dinner, or my man didn't take out the trash, that's nobody's business, because people will just see like the outside, especially if you're posting. And this is why social media is so dangerous. If you're posting everything's perfect, but then your house inside is chaotic and you're having issues, and then you're telling people about your issues, but then you're posting like everything is all good, you are actively confusing people. And then that's going to make people more jealous, because they're like, well, you say one thing, but then you post this other thing, and nobody needs to be in your business like that. And then the second thing about all of this is just the fact that jealousy is dangerous. So with it being dangerous and with what she's saying, you just have to be mindful of the fact that you don't know who people are. You don't know what you're dealing with. You don't know like how people are going to receive what you're bringing to the table. And everyone can make assumptions. Whether those assumptions are true or not, that's why gossip is toxic. That's why rumors are toxic, because anybody can say anything about anybody. And then if somebody is thinking that, you're confusing them, or you're saying one thing but your actions are different, like, you are opening a can of worms for harm. I don't know the name or the instance and when this happened, but I just remember there were like two best friends, and one best friend was jealous of the other best friend, and while the girl was walking home, her best friend poured acid on her and completely ruined her face. Like, things like that terrify me. They scare me, because it's just like, dang, this is your best friend, somebody who you probably told everything to, and you were just feeding her inner demons and giving her ammunition to potentially kill you. So you just have to be careful about everything that you say, everything that you share, everything that you do. It's not everybody's business. Social media doesn't really help that. That's why you have to be so careful. But at the end of the day, like, if you don't know that person, like, you don't need to be fishing for what's going on in their home lives. And it's really it's nobody's business. Let me keep going.
The things that you know are normal about yourself, such as your sweet personality, the way you speak, how eloquent you are, a jealous woman will use that against you and somehow turn that into a negative. And she will rally all of her troops behind her, her little hater group, her jealous woman group, to clown you. Now, as you grow as a woman, like I said, it becomes deeper than just your personality, because those kind of things are typically things that you see when you're in your 20s, late teens. But as you grow as a woman, and you might have different life situations, and women grab a hold of that, women who are jealous of you, they will look for every opportunity to air out your so-called dirty laundry. They will take the opportunity during family functions, during networking events, during, workplace activities, to ask you about something that might not be the most, appropriate thing to say to you in the moment. But a woman who is a jealous woman, she will say something to you at the most unopportune, I don't even know if that is a word, but my mother used to say it, the opportune time. She will bring it up to you in front of your entire family. You're sitting with your parents, your aunties, your uncles. Your husband, he coming home at night now, right? He ain't hanging out with the girl no more, is he?
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to do a part 2 on this video, because she is going in, but like, I see it with like the younger generation. I see it with myself. Jealousy is gonna always be there, but it's how you deal with it. It's how you navigate it. Jealousy comes for the kind-hearted, the sweet. I'm working on my soft girl era. I'm working on my feminine or my femininity, so that I can just present myself as this soft, caring, kind person, which I've always been. But the thing that has hurt me the most is being soft and being kind. People would literally crap on me for it. People would tear me down. They would talk about my clothes. They would talk about how I look. And we can go into like different things that have to do with like maybe my community being the Black community, colorism, like playing a factor in a role, all these different like little minute things. And they're not minute. I don't want to like make them small because they are big issues. But just as a human being who is blessed to have two eyes, a mouth to talk, and hands to work and feet to move, it's never good enough for somebody else, and people will pick and poke and pick and poke, and then you're just left with all these scars. I will say that I have mentioned before in my podcast, if people don't know this, I have a condition, or I don't know, I have a condition called vitiligo, and I'll talk about it later on. But the more stressed that I am, the more that my vitiligo will spread. And I am in such a space of love to where my vitiligo is currently like minimizing itself, and I'm so proud of myself. But that has been because I have set boundaries. I stopped allowing people to just talk about me unprovoked. There is no reason why you should be talking about me, especially to me. And I used to be the type to just let people say things about me and I wouldn't say anything. It would escalate to where when I finally said no, like this is not okay, and I don't appreciate the disrespect, people want to get physical. People want to get violent. When I finally speak up for myself and say, I do not tolerate this disrespect, people will want to put their hands on me. And I never really understood why that was. But you know what? It's not for me to understand. People have inner demons that they're fighting, and you only can pray for those people and hope that they are delivered from those demons. But at the end of the day, you have to protect yourself. As you get older, jealousy and hate, it becomes more reformed. It becomes calculated. It will show up in different obstacles, and you're still going to be like, well, we've been kicking it. Like, I thought you were so cool. Like, was that a jealous comment? Was that some shade? If you feel it in your gut, your gut says that was shade, take it as shade. It can't be. Don't make excuses. Don't make excuses for other people's negligence, because if you're trying your best to care for someone else and cater to them, and they're not doing the same for you, then you need to tell them deuces, kick rocks. So I hope that you like this video. Please subscribe, like, comment. Please comment. I love seeing what you guys have to say. And you already know, when life gives you thorns, search for roses. Peace, rosebuds.